Yeah, okay, great. So, this is 109th chapter from Garuda Mahapurana. This is second chapter in the series of Niti Sara. So, the first, this is being taught by Sutaji, and Sutaji is saying this. आपदर्थे धनं रक्षेत् दारान् रक्षेत् धनैरपि आत्मानं सततं रक्षेत् धारैरपि धनैरपि. So it's about priorities, what to prioritize uh, when when it is about wealth and people and then your own self. So often in world we see this thing, the self-sacrifice has been kept to be highest and considered to be noble. However, Niti sees in a different way. Niti sees self as the highest. It says to protect the self at all costs because self is the only thing. Your own self is your own tool in this world to achieve the purusharthas and thus attain the mukti. If your self does not exist, you cannot do anything. Hence, self should always be given highest priority. So, one should protect wealth for the times of calamity. Wealth should be protected and there should be savings for the times of calamity. One should protect the spouse even at the cost of wealth. So, when it comes to spouse, or you can say partner and wealth, in among those two, the spouse or the partner should be given priority and should be protected at the cost of wealth. But one must always protect the self even at the cost of the spouse and wealth. When even at the cost of, what this means is when these things become harmful for your own self, then you should not hesitate to abandon them and protect your own self. So priority goes like there should be wealth, wealth should be protected for the times of calamity, and at the cost of wealth, you can protect your own spouse or the life partner. This is male centric, this teaching, because it is being taught uh, to a king basically. However, this can be understood for both the genders because in those times it's mostly men who gets the teachings. Women have separate kinds of teachings and their dharma and all were different. However, because times have changed and today women and men are being celebrated equally and they are participating in life in all spheres, most of them doing participating in their own capacity, so it can be understood for both. Okay, so the priority is top priority, it should always be the self, that is your own self, means your own body, your health and your own mental peace, all that should be the highest priority. And after yourself, it is your own spouse or the life partner, that should be your, they should be your priority. And after that it should be wealth. You can try this scenario. A person is offered a very lucrative but unethical job. Accepting it would solve all their family's financial problems, but would require them to compromise their integrity and values. So, protecting the self does not only mean protecting the physical health or the mental health, it's also protecting the self from committing patakam. Patakam is something that pulls you down, which means uh, something that can pull you down, means something that can put you into a lower life. Like you should always think for in this life and what would happen to myself after I leave this body also. So if it is something that leads to pathakam to yourself, that also should be avoided. So compromising the integrity and the values is also like harming the self. So Amritaji, you want to answer this? According to the versus hierarchy, what is the wisest course of action in this case? A. Okay, take the job because protecting one's family and wealth is highest duty. Yeah, that is, to some extent it's right, but the highest priority since is the self. So you can all, like, you can spend wealth at the cost of wealth and at the cost of your own family. You have to protect your family first. So the things, the that the self has, and also the things that self accumulates, like the papa and the punya also. So in that sense, we should go for protecting the self, integrity and dharma at all costs. Protecting the self means more than, yeah, like I said, more than just physical safety. It's about preserving the core of your being. When we say core of the being, we are saying the atma itself, the one that lies beyond all the pancha koshas. So you can use this space to add more to things, like what is your core, what does that mean, like how constitution has a basic structure. Similarly, every self will have their own basic structure and basic nature, all that. If that is compromised, that means the self is like broken or harmed. So you can see what is it that makes my basic structure when we talk about self, and you can list down here and you can add them. For example, if it is honesty, for some it can be honesty. You can just add it. This is all for your own analysis, and see ki, know for yourself ki what is it that uh, holds, or what does it mean when I say myself, and what is it that I cannot compromise, that is non-negotiable. The next niti, going further in the same way, त्यजेद एकम कुलस्यार्थे ग्रामस्यार्थे कुलं त्यजेत ग्रामं जनपदस्यार्थे आत्मार्थे पृथिवीं त्यजेत. Again, this is something that comes in Mahabharata also, but it comes still here only. So here what they are saying is, one can abandon an individual for the sake of family. Abandon in the sense, you can sacrifice, one individual can sacrifice their life, their own pleasures and luxuries for the sake of family. For example, one person uh, getting into the studies and doing all the hard work, like people who prepare for the UPSC and all, or some higher goal, which once they achieve that goal, that will change how the family, the next generations will live their life. So one person, if educated, that will change the fate of family itself. So that way, it's like one can sacrifice their own self, their own luxuries, and for the sake of family, that is allowed. One can abandon the family for the sake of the village. So if we take the larger community, like a village, for the sake of the village, one can, a family can sacrifice itself if that is that are those are the stakes. Like when we compare both, like this can, if I sacrifice my own family, or they decide to that we sacrifice and the village gets saved, then they can do that, that is allowed, that is being said. And then one can abandon or sacrifice the village for the sake of the country. Again, same thing, larger benefit has been seen everywhere. And even after saying all that, in the end, what is it said? It is said, for the sake of the self, abandon the earth itself. So, when it comes to the self, when it's even in the case of the previous ones, sacrificing oneself or the village, family, or the village, mm, it's like this. Again, the self doesn't just mean the outer part or the physical what we see. It also means the atma. So when it comes to that, and when it comes to, again, it can be tied to dharma again. If it means, if sacrificing your own self means sacrificing your own values and your own dharma, like how Arjuna's dharma is to protect the helpless as Aksharya, like that. If it is about your own dharma, and if dharma is taken out, if your guna and dharma is taken out, there is nothing left. A person is like a dead person only. So those things, if if they are at stake, then you should not go for it. You can abandon everything, even the world itself. You can just sacrifice. You don't need to follow, or you don't need to put yourself at stake. Again, the sacrifice hierarchy, highest priority, it's always the self. Again, when I say atma, yeah, atma we take as the core thing of the self. However, it also means the parts that hold the atma, which is the physical body and the mental states of the body. So the main essence is that you always prioritize your own self, nothing else. Yourself is your highest priority. Yourself means your atma, and also the physical body, and also the mental peace. Everything that has to be your highest priority. After yourself, it should be the village, world, yeah, larger world. Then comes the village, then comes the family. This is all again based on numbers. But your own self, even though it is just one, that should be highest, because your own, it's yourself that helps you cross this ocean of samsara. And in fact, in vedanta, it is seen it this way. They say that there is only your own self that is existing, and everything else is nothing. It don't even exist. If there's only one thing that exists, and that is your own self. And even if we look at if we see also all the world that exists in our own mind, it don't really exist outside. I mean, it exists outside also. However, how we perceive it, and for our own experience, it only exists in our own mind. So our own self is the holder of all the things that we experience and everything. So, in that sense, also self should be the highest priority. In the Advaita case, also, when we say Advaita and when we say there is no second thing, in that sense, also, when we are saying there is no second thing, there is only one, that one is not the Parabrahma that we can't even perceive, that one is your own self only. Then the ultimate priority, yeah, again, question the verse culminates. Okay, for the sake of the self, abandon the earth. What is the practical meaning of this? So, how do you understand this, Amritaji? You can answer. Among these three options, what it means to for the sake of self, abandon the earth? B. Correct. One's own spiritual liberation and moral integrity are of the higher value than any worldly gain or attachment. Yes. Or any problem, anything that might appear to be too big or something, it all in relation to time. It's no, with time everything ends. All the problems will end, all the luxuries will also end, everything comes to halt. It is only your own self that keeps traveling into things, and it's the karma and papa punya all that you carry. It's your own self highest priority. I mean, it's your own self that is experiencing, living, and doing all the things. Okay, this is for self-analysis. You can try. When my personal desires conflict with my family's needs, so how do you prioritize? What is the priorities? Family's needs or the personal desires? Yeah, Amritaji, you want to answer? It's for self-analysis. If you want, you can try it on your own also. I'll share this. Okay. Your family's needs. Okay. If a community project required a small sacrifice from my family, and my first instinct would be, yeah, this don't need to align with the words. It can be, it is just to know your current state and to understand how you deal with life right now. B, family's interest first. The idea of sacrificing a major career opportunity for my inner peace or ethical principles feels. How does it feel to sacrifice a career opportunity for your own peace and ethical principles? A, like a wise and necessary choice. So based on this, you got one point for all the things. Yeah, it shows a strong inclination towards protecting the self, which aligns with the verse. You can use this to list down your priorities. This is for your own self analysis, and you can download also. You can add them, for example, what is actions that you do for greater good and actions to protect the self. And these actions can also be related with, they can be aligned with protecting the self also. So you can use this space. Next we have varam hi narake vaso न तु दुश्चरिते गृहे नरकात् क्षीयते पापं कुगृहान्न निवर्तते. कुगृहान् च निवर्तते. Okay. So what's this? This means about, uh, so what they are saying is it's better to be in hell than to be in a in a house of a, in a person's house who's having ill conduct, or a wicked person, or someone who is into wicked actions, all that. So why? Because if one stays in a naraka, their papa karmas will get exhausted. But by staying in a bad home or an ill minded people's company, these karmas, they never cease. The bad karmas, they won't go, but there is also a chance of growing them. They will grow. So hence, so the main essence is this key: you should always abandon or stay away from the wicked people at all costs, no matter how beneficial it might appear. It should always look out for the wickedness, and if you come across wickedness, you should always avoid that. Wicked in the sense, there is bad and good kind, like people who behave negatively, like anger, or jealous, that's a different thing. But wickedness is like a core nature, is the nature of hatred towards the world or the people, uh, like that. It's not something that is based on the context. Sometimes people can get angry, or based on context and situations, people's emotions and how they behave might change. But a wicked person's behavior will be same, will always be negative, irrespective of what's happening on the outside. So it's like that. So that such a person's company should always be avoided. Which is better place to live? uh, Compared to these two, like I said, it's hell. Naraka is better than to stay in the house of a ill conduct person. Again, why is that? Because sins are exhausted, papam kshiyate, when we stay in the hell. That means even naraka is a place for purification. It's not like, even though there is suffering in general, even in life, is a process of purification only. It's not, it should not be seen like a negative thing. When someone suffers, that means they're burning their bad karmas. But by staying in a bad home, or a home that a place where there are wicked people, or place where, or the company of wicked people, the papa, it never ceases. So it is where the mind gets polluted, and it can create new negative karma also. Yeah, this is an analysis, self analysis you can try. My home and work environments generally inspire me to be. You can do your own analysis. If you want to answer, you can answer this. B. Okay. The people I spend the most time with. So the company, how is your company? This is also to understand your own state. So is it encouraging good habits, or is it encouraging bad habits or gossip? A. Growth and good habits. After a difficult experience, my environment allows me to. Yeah, when there is a difficult experience, how your surroundings or company encourages you to be. A. Great. So there's one space where there's polluting, but it's good. Your response suggests your environment is largely purifying, and it supports you in exhausting negativity and cultivating virtue, acting as a true sanctuary. Great. So you can use this space to write down uh, what are your purifying influences which exhausts negative karma. Even though we see them for our own, in our sense, on a relative level, it is bad and good. However, karma is just karma is neither bad nor good. It is karma, some action, and it will return in some way. It should be seen that way. But how it feels for you, that way you can see. So what are the purifying influences and what are the polluting influences, you can see, and you can list them down, and have your own analysis. This can be done like, for in a month, or after 6 months, like that, to just to see how is it going. So when you know where is my positivity, where is my negativity, you will be able to even though you don't uh, tell your mind every time, since it has seen that these are the places, it has made its own analysis, it will automatically drive you towards the positive influences for its own survival. Next we have धातृत्वेन पादेन तिष्ठत्येकेन बुद्धिमान् न परीक्ष्य परं स्थानं पूर्वमायतने त्यजेत्. It's not dhatruttvena, it is chalatyekena. Okay. Okay, it is chalat ekena padena tishtat ekena buddhiman na parikshya param sthanam purvamayatanam tyajet. Okay, it's about moving, how one should move. A wise person, they will always lift their second leg after firmly placing their first foot. What this means is, this is an analogy, like an example being given. What this means is, whenever one is entering into a new field or a new place which requires you to abandon or leave the older one should not jump directly there. They should always check it very clearly and then first put one foot over there and firmly establish that one foot and then lift the second leg. That means firmly first place yourself, see that that place and the company or the people, they all fit into your growth cycle, and then you should leave the place. You should not, one should not leave the without examining, one should not move or make decisions. That's the essence of this. Yeah, a thorough examination should be done before moving to a new place or new state or new venture. So this is a person, the Nyaya Darshana's guru, Akshapada Gautama. His name is Akshapada. So it means to be like a Akshapada. Akshapada means one who has eye in the foot. So before stepping into a place, it should be clearly seen and then the foot should be placed. So it's like that. Uh, Taking a new step or making a change, it is an act of moving forward. Yeah. So a wise person ensures their current position is stable and secure before committing to a new one. They don't leap into the unknown, don't leap into the unknown without a firm footing. So one should look before leaping into that. Examine first. So if one has to go to a new company, like for example, if there is a new offer from a different company, first what they should do, they should research the new company. They should not resign immediately. They should not accept the offer impulsively. They should assess the new responsibilities. This should be done. Even if they offer a higher package or better benefits, one should always see what is there and do a careful examination. Yeah, this is for self analysis. You can try this. When making a major decision, so what is the process? It's about this. Whether you go with the gut feeling or you do, gut feeling is like hope, trusting the hope, or trusting the daiva, or it is also fine, but even the gut feeling should be based on some evidence. Yeah, so how is it currently? You can do your own analysis and answer this, Amrutaji. It don't have to be the perfect answer. It can be, it is just to know for your own self, for your own understanding. B. Okay. While helping others, I tend to. B. Okay. I'm more comfortable with among these two, spontaneous leaps or calculated steps. B. Calculated steps. Great. Your responses suggest a naturally prudent and cautious approach, and it aligns well with the verse. Even though the other side might appear to be adventurous, but that's not a wise thing to do. Okay. You can see, use these spaces for your own analysis and download and make this analysis uh, at different intervals to understand how you have progressed. Okay, next we have त्यजेद्देशमसद्रवृतं त्यजेद्देशमसद्वृत्तं वासं सोपद्रवं त्यजेत् त्यजेत् कृपणराजानं मित्रं मायामयं त्यजेत्. Okay. This is about what should be abandoned. So, abandon a country filled with characterless people. Characterless means people who do not have integrity. It doesn't mean what scriptures say right or wrong. It's not, even that can be a standard. However, uh, to not have a charitra or character is to not have integrity, that alignment with the truth for their own self, and then abandon a place where there is constant trouble. That place also should be abandoned where there is constant trouble, like it can be dangerous. For example, living in a place where there are earthquakes or or some kind of protests or fights happening. Such places, they are not said to be good. They can be harmful. This is about protecting the physical self. A wicked son should be abandoned because a wicked son can bring bad name to the family. A king who is, yeah, a king should be abandoned who is krupana. Krupana means miser, conjuice kind of thing. Who is so the king should be very generous. In our cases, it can be people who are in high positions. It can be a collector for a district. For example, if a poor person, he don't have anything and he requests the collector to provide a land so that he can farm, do some agriculture and feed his own self and make a living out of it. If that collector is a krupana, is a conjuice person, and he don't give that to this person, that such a king, he's like a king only for that person, for the poor man. So such a person should be abandoned. They don't deserve to be held to that position. And a deceitful friend is someone who acts differently in front of you and behind you, who is, again, it's all everything deceit, character or wickedness, or even krupanata or kanjusi, miserness, all these things, they all somehow rooted in honesty or truth. If there is no alignment with truth, truth is not something that is constant or said, and that's it's not like that. It's about what they say and what they show and what their actions are. So it's about that. If there is alignment, then it's well and good. If there is no alignment, then that's a trouble. So a characterless country where people are corrupted and they don't have any morals or prevents a dharmic life. A troubled face, a troubled place, a place filled with danger, conflict, or constant trouble, which destroys peace of mind. A bad son or king, wicked son or a corrupt king, and a deceitful friend. Deceit is Maya, which is Mithya. This is not the Maya that we worship. It's the different kind of Maya is deceitness of being not truthful. So such a person, they hold a hidden danger. They can harm at any time, and they are very close also. That's a very big danger. So such people should be abandoned. And yeah, what is the common reason for abandoning all four of these things? There will be one common thing. Yes, what do you think it is, Amrutaji? B, they are all financially draining. Yeah, that's also true. However, they fundamentally prevent a person from living a secure, peaceful, and dharmic life. This so it's all connected to again what we spoken before, protecting the self. If there is danger to the self, that place, that person should be abandoned. That's the lesson. You can try this self analysis. The general character of the people in my primary environment, which is where something very close to you and where you spend most time. How is it? You can do your own analysis. How is it? Is it generally virtuous and supportive, or characterless or negative? This is for your own analysis. B. Okay. The leadership or authority figures in my life are generally. This is about how is your king. King need not be the king like the prime minister or president. Someone who has that level of control at administrative levels, or people who are in the enforcement, where who can enforce law or dharma or have some sort of power and treasure. So how are they? Both. Okay. Okay, we take the negative one. Then my closest friendships are characterized by. Also, the king has to be generous. Like I said, they should be able to help. If some poor guy goes, and they should be able to provide them with wealth or support them with whatever they need. Okay, here honesty and mutual trust. Okay, there are some aspects that are draining and some aspects that are nourishing. So such situations should be abandoned to protect your own well-being and dharma. You can list down this. You can use this space to list down You can add things. This is only for you to know ki what is it that draining me and what is it that is nourishing me. Like that, you can make a list and you can download your own analysis. Okay, next we have अर्थेन किं कृपण हस्तगतेन पुंसा ज्ञानेन किं बहुशठ कुलसङ्कुलेन रूपेण किं गुणपराक्रमवर्जितेन मित्रेण किं व्यसनकालपराङ्गमुखेन. Okay, I think the verse didn't came full. Okay. It says again, I'll read it. Arthena kim krupana hastagatena. Artha is wealth. What is the use of wealth with a miser? Miser is krupana or the conjuice person. What is the purpose of knowledge filled with deceit? Knowledge can be used positively and it can be used negatively. Knowledge is just knowledge. It's like one can know how to use a weapon and one can use it to protect people or one can use it to destroy people. So it's about what is the purpose of knowledge filled with deceit. What is the benefit of beauty devoid of virtue and valor? To have beauty, there should, if a person have beauty and does not have virtue and valor, they will not be able to enjoy the benefits of the beauty. That is one thing. Another thing is they will be hated because they don't have the virtue in them, and they will treat others as low, or they'll do the discrimination thing. And that way, even though they are beautiful and are attractive, they won't be respected or they won't be approached, and they won't live the fruits of the beauty. And what is the need for a friend who turns away in times of calamity? Again, a friend is only a friend if they are there at times of calamities or troubles. If they are not there, if they have left you and they are not friend, that's it. Uh, that's the what do you say, final thing. There is no second guessing, or there is no excuses that should be taken from them. So when there is wealth, one should not be miser or a krupana or a kanjus. When there is knowledge, knowledge should not be filled with deceit. When there is beauty, such people should embody virtue and valor to get the benefits of the beauty and to uh, to not get hated. And if someone thinks that the person is a friend, they should stand by them at times of troubles. So miser should not, wealth with a miser is a waste. Knowledge with deceit, deceit is a waste. And beauty without virtue is empty. And a friend who flees at times of trouble is not a friend. Okay, a scenario analysis. A highly skilled and knowledgeable person uses their expertise to mislead people for personal gain. According to the verse, what is the true nature of their knowledge? I think this is direct, you can answer. C. It is a valuable asset regardless of how it is used. Yeah, that is also a perspective, and And however, according to the verse, if the knowledge is used for uh, misleading people, then it is considered to be useless, because it will only give negative karmas, and which will eventually bring downfall to the person themselves. However, knowledge on its own uh, is something that is valuable always. Yeah, you can do this analysis, self analysis. When evaluating an opportunity, I give more weight to B. Okay. I'm more impressed by B. Okay. In friendships, I value A. Okay. Okay. So the responses, they prioritize substance over superficiality, and they align with the verses wisdom, valuing integrity, reliability, and true character, and in yourself and the others. So great, it's going great. Even the other side also, it's these questions are a bit tricky. It depends on, again, like we discussed in the last class, it's about a net profit. That is also one element that comes in, irrespective of people's integrity and all. If there is a net profit that you can pull out from another person, irrespective of whether they have integrity, or what do they do with their knowledge and all. If net profit can be brought out for your own benefit, for your own self, that in that sense also you can still have such a mutually benefiting relationship with people. Okay, you can list down assets with true value. What is it that you consider have true value, substance, and assets that do not have true value? You can list them down, and you can use it for your own analysis. Okay, next we have, I'll keep the translation. अदृष्टपूर्वा बहवः सहायाः सर्वे पदस्थस्य भवन्ति मित्राः अर्थैर्विहीनस्य पदच्युतस्य भवत्यकाले स्वजनोऽपि शत्रुः. Okay, this is about how people around us change based on our position and wealth that we have. In general, also, when people value, what people in generally value is, it is the value that a person holds. It's not the person themselves. There are, it's very rare. I think it's only if there is a blood relation, or if it is a husband and wife kind of relation, or if it is blind love or some love. In love only, there is this unconditional admiration for people. Even there also, there is some aspect of looking at the value that the person can provide. In that sense, in general, even though people might call themselves to be atheists or someone who do not believe in God or something like that. However, people will always be worshipping what is called as Aishwarya. Aishwarya uh, is a shakti, we can say. For example, a beauty is a type of an Aishwarya, or wealth is an Aishwarya, or a good health is an Aishwarya, or the ability to speak well is an Aishwarya. All these are all shaktis, and people will be running after them only, worshipping them and admiring them only. Whether one places an idol and worships God or not, it's always the world runs around Bhagavan itself, Bhagavan and the Bhagavan's attributes. Okay, coming to the verse, based on position, many new helpers and all people become friends of one who is in a high position. If someone is in a high position, people become friends and be very close to them and be serving them because they expect, one is that they admire the Aishwarya or the Shakti in them, that is there for sure. And another is people are uh, they have expectations, they want something out of them. So they believe maybe someday some coin will fall and we'll be able to pick that. So for that reason, they will all gather around there. And for one who is devoid of wealth and fallen from his position, even his own kinsmen become enemies at an inopportune time. Again, if there is no wealth, devoid of wealth, and has fallen from their position, a poor person is said to be someone who do not have any friends and who cannot go into any conversation with people, who is not invited anywhere. And it is also said ki to be poor and to live in poverty is like death itself. So one should always try to uh, accumulate wealth always, irrespective of whether they have become rich or how much vairagya they might hold. All that makes zero sense if there is no wealth. So wealth also means you got the anugraha or the grace of Ma Lakshmi and Bhagavan itself. So that also shows ki you got the blessings of Bhagavan. It's not just wealth that you have accumulated. You're showing that it shows that you got the blessings of the devatas. So hence wealth is valued, and it is valued for right reasons. And in this, the lesson is also this key: there's nothing in the person. It is only what the person holds, what value you can provide to the people around you. Based on that only your value will be decided. So if one is fallen from their position, there will be enemies. There will be enemies, of course, and if one is at high position, there will be more friends. So people are like that. They will turn into friends or become enemies depending on your position, not because you as a person. Okay. A scenario similar to what we have discussed. A successful CEO is celebrated and has many friends and supporters. Suddenly, her company fails and she loses her wealth and position. Many of her former friends now avoid her, and some old relatives start speaking ill of her. So this is a general thing that will happen because uh, a poor person will expect something. They will always be uh, expecting some wealth or some kind of benefit. So hence people will avoid them naturally. And if you have abundance and you can only give, you cannot take when you have abundance. So hence people will be there around them and be friends with them. What does this scenario demonstrate about her former friends and relatives? Yeah, this is the lesson from the verse. This is just to test. What do you think, Amritaji? Can you answer this? Yeah, hello. Okay, I'll only answer. The correct answer would be this: the essence of the verse itself. The friendship was tied to her position and wealth, not to her as a person. This is true at all places. A person's value is tied, a person's relationship like friendship and all, they are tied based on what they can provide, what is the value that they can provide. This is a personal analysis. Okay, okay, you're there. You want to try this personal analysis? If I lost my current job or social status, I believe most of my current friends would. This is to see ki if you got friends who would see you as a person or friends who would see you as a value. Yeah, Amritaji. Distant, okay. I have friends in my life who have supported me through. So, is there a time when you got support in both good times and bad times, or is it only during good times that you got support? Or sometimes it could be neither. There could be times when you didn't get support even in good times, also. That's also possible. Yeah, Amritaji. Okay, in both good and bad times. When I meet new people, I am more drawn to what is it that catches your eye? Great. Character and personality. Okay, it suggests that you cultivate value and true friendship based on character, not just status. That is a great sign of wisdom and it will lead to stable and reliable support system. However, even then, it's always good to be reliable by one's own self and should not be expecting, even if there is support coming, it's better to give it back. If you receive a support or if you receive a favor, it's always good to give it back. Okay, you can have list what it means to be a true friend or the names of true friends, and one can have positional friends also based on mutual benefits. That's not a wrong thing, it should be there. That's also a way of friendship, and you can do your own analysis. I'll share this link with you. You can later on go through them and type in your responses. Okay, now we have आपत्सु मित्रं जानीयात् रणे शूरं रः शुचिं भार्याञ्च विभवे क्षीणे दुर्भिक्षे च प्रियातिथिम् प्रियातिथिम्. Okay, so it's about who is known when. A friend is known in adversity, that we have seen even previously also. A hero or a shura is known in battle. Battle can be a physical battle, it can also be a verbal or a mental battle. It's about a shura is a person who will not tremble or who will not step back or who will not stop their work when there is a resistance or a difficulty or a trouble. They face them and they get things done. That is the quality of a shura. A honest person in private. So honesty, what people speak outside or present themselves is only what is acceptable in the society, and what is how they want, like how nobly they want to be, or how it's not the real self, it's only the self that uh, they are able to project for their own benefit. However, their own true nature will be known to them only, and to the devatas only. It's never known to anyone. Anyone means anyone. So their honesty is known in private only. A wife is known when wealth is gone. So since it is a male-centric teaching, it's talked about wife. So wife, it is said that a wife is known when the wealth is gone, and a wise person by how they treat a beloved guest. Wise people, they will treat their guests well. So wisdom means to know that what is in me, the Atma, it's also there in them, or the Parabrahma, what is in me is also there in them. They don't see the person as some kind of asset or value, they see the Parabrahma only in them, that like the highest state of Pandita. However, in general, also people will be respectable. A wise people will be good with Atithis also. Atithi is someone uh, unknown, right? It's not someone who one knows uh, and have any kind of friendship. If there is friendship and they are treating well, that means that's okay. That is there is a reason for that. But if someone is treating an Atithi also well, that means they are into dharma. So such a person is a wise person. So this is to test the same teaching. A friend is known when there is adversity. A hero, Shura, is known in battle. A wife in poverty. And a honest person in private. A scenario: an entrepreneur enjoys great success and is surrounded by a supportive wife and many friends. When his business fails and he loses everything, his wife remains by his side, but many friends disappear. Okay, I think this is a direct question. According to the verse, what has this calamity revealed. This will reveal the true loyal nature of his wife because she has stood by him when there is no wealth, and the superficial nature of his friendships. Yeah, adversity is the ultimate test of loyalty. Okay, this is for your own self analysis. You can write this. When I have faced difficulties in the past, my support system, yeah, how was your support system when you faced difficulties? Yes, Amritaji, you want to answer? Strong and reliable. Okay. My own courage and integrity are most tested when, it's about your own courage and integrity, whether it is tested when you are under public pressure or when there is no one watching. Public pressure. I believe the strength of my primary partnership is, yeah, your primary partnership. It can be your family, or it can be a close friend, or a close colleague, or people who you feel are support system. Is it independent of your financial status, or is it dependent on your financial status? Sometimes it might not be tested yet, so in that cases you can say none also, or you can just say whatever you feel is right. Independent of financial status. Great. So you have a strong and reliable support system. You value qualities that endure through hardship, and this is a great strength. Correct. So you can make your own lists, what is tested and what is yet to be tested. This can always be, this analysis can be done anytime, and you can see which group, like what is the group that that has been tested and which group is yet to be tested, and based on that you can place your trust. So even though it's all analysis and all we are doing, it doesn't mean that you live a life full of analysis and sheets and all. This is only something that you learn initially. Like for example, you read the verse and you do the analysis. Maybe you do it once or twice, and then it becomes a habit. You naturally tend to, you will be able to identify true friends and the qualities, and you will know ki when the test is happening and all those things, you will it will be there in your mind. Unless you are into a position of an administrator or enforcer, for a normal person, such a detailed analysis is not really needed. That will make it more, life will become more like robotic and all. This is only to protect oneself from harms that might come all of a sudden or unknowingly. Okay, next we have huh, वृक्षं क्षीणफलं त्यजन्ति विहगाः शुष्कं सरः सारसाः निर्द्रव्यं पुरुषं त्यजन्ति गणिका भ्रष्टं नृपं मन्त्रिणः पुष्पं पर्युषितं त्यजन्ति मधुपा दग्धं वनान्तं मृगाः सर्वः कार्यवशाज्जनो हि रमते कस्यास्ति को वल्लभः. Okay, it's about, again, Niti is about this also, to stay aware about what happens and to be able to accept whatever has happened or whatever will happen or however people might behave. It helps us to stay complete in our own self and without having complaints about how people or the outside world behaves. In this verse, we see that birds abandon a tree that is without a fruit, cranes a dry lake, courtesans abandon a man without wealth, ministers will abandon a defeated king, bees abandon a withered flower, deer a burnt forest. Indeed, everyone engages for their own self-interest. Who is truly dear to whom? That is the lesson here. So every relationship, even though we one might think of it as something unconditional or something that does not have any kind of benefits involved or any kind of selfishness involved. However, every relationship have some level of transaction happening. It can be material or it can be mental also, or it can just be time also. Time is also something that is being exchanged. So it can be anything. It is through karma and runanubandhana people come together, and again it is when that runanubandhana is finished, or when that karma or the bandha due to karma is finished, or if there is no benefit left, or if there is nothing gained from the person or the thing, then that place, that person, that object is abandoned uh, by everything. It is something that is against the nature. So when that happens, one should not uh, complain about it, or one should not be worried about it. It should be seen as something very natural. Okay, if we just remove the utility, they will all be left abandoned by them. So it's about the value one can provide to anything. It's based on the value people are respected. It's based on the value people are uh, people become friends or anything. Okay, the last question, it is saying who is truly dear to whom. So how do you understand this? Yeah, Amrita ji, what is your perspective on this? You can answer from these options also, or if you have a view on this, you can share that also. The lesson from the verse is that it is all something that we see in nature itself. Why to bother about it when someone abandons or leaves a person when there is nothing, no value that can be gained from them. B. Yes, one should be cautious and understand that most worldly relationships are based on self-interest. Correct. Yeah, this is for a self-analysis. If I lost my current job or social status, okay, this is something that we have discussed. I have friends in my life who have supported me through. Okay, okay, this is a similar question. So these are all verses that are talking about true friendships, true relationships, and it started with protecting the self, and then it talked about uh, what it means to protecting the self, what kind of friendships or relationships one should have, and how should one see relationships as whether one should see them as what we say unconditional or divine or some kind of magic, or whether they should see them as something that is very grounded, transactional, and there is always a benefit involved. There can be unconditional love and unconditional relationships also, but they are very limited to family basically, because that there is this natural instinct to protect the family because for survival reasons, or else everything that comes from outside it's mostly transactional. Okay, next we have लुब्धमर्थप्रदानेन श्लाघ्यमञ्जलिकर्मणा मूर्खछन्दानुवृत्त्या च यथा तथ्येन पंडितम्. Okay, I'll read it again. लुब्धमर्थप्रदानेन श्लाघ्यमज्जलिकर्मणा मूर्खछन्दानुवृत्त्या च यथा तथ्येन पंडितम्. Okay, it's about how to win different kinds of people. Win in the sense how to uh, yeah, bring them into your own influence. A greedy person can be won by withholding. Withholding means not satisfying their greed. A proud person, if someone is ghamand, has got big ego, that person can be won by praise. If you start praising them, talking about their own greatness, they can be brought into your own influence. A fool by indulging his whims. A fool should not be corrected. When talking to a fool, you should indulge in their own views and act as if you agree with them. And even you can fuel them and add on to that. That way, you can bring a fool into your control. And then a wise person can be brought into control or under influence or can be impressed by speaking the truth. This is said because uh, you don't need to abandon unless a person is weak. Other qualities can be bad with, you can take them and you can understand them as people's nature, and can behave accordingly with different kinds of people. Like with a greedy or a proud person or a foolish person, it doesn't mean you make a judgment and you abandon or you avoid them. You can be with them and you can be with them in a way that pleases them. By understand, like, you don't, it's not about we want to please or something. Again, it's about net profit. If there is a profit, if there is a gain involved for your own self or your own organization, or you, if it helps for your growth and for your own mental peace, you can use these tactics. And this is since it is Rajaniti also, this is mainly pointed towards the king. And if a king faces such people, then how they should act. This can be of course applied to our day-to-day lives also. A fool we should involve in their own whims. A wise person speak the truth and that will impress them. A greedy person withhold them, don't give them. A proud person prize, just give them applauds and prizes. They'll be they can be brought into influence. Okay, you're leading a project that hits a budget crisis. You present the problem to your team. So how do you respond to these people? It's any one question. If you want to try, you can try. So there are four kinds of people and how you will respond to them. What will be the response, exact response? With a proud person is saying this is what happens when planning isn't handled by people who understand design excellence. My part has been flawless. I suppose I could look at some minor cost saving measures. So since this person is proud, how will you respond? Like what is uh, how will you open this or how will you build on to what they have said? You can try, let me know if you want to try, or else I'll just give an example. So first you can tell me ki what is it that we should do to a proud person? How do we approach them? Yeah, correct. Appreciate their work. So we should build on to what they have said. They said my part has been flawless. You can use that. Or you can build on what they have said. Exactly. You can start with exactly. That word just gets into their mind and it will feed their ego. And then you can repeat what they have said. And then you can say, you can present your own views also. Because initially, when we have given them the applaud, yeah, yeah, okay, it's confusing. Uh, since we have to, it's a proud person, we will praise them, we will say ki what they have said is correct. That way we are feeding their ego and appreciate what they have done. They said ki my part has been flawless. So we say we appreciate that. And we also acknowledge what they have said. And then we can place them to take up this role, like since they seem to understand what to be done. Or we can present our own views also, because once we have done what to be done to different kinds of people, for example, for a proud person we have done the pricing, and then we can talk about our own views. That way, their guard is down. They are like, okay, this person is mine only, or someone who acknowledges my intelligence. And then when you speak, they might come back to support you. It can go like that. So yeah, the responses will be, you will appeal to her ego. You saying, Rina, you are right. Yeah, by saying you're right or exactly all that. Your design work has been exceptional. Praising them. That's why I need your brilliant eye to help us find clever ways. Positioning them to take the responsibility. That way, it's like, even though if you directly say ki you do this, then it might not go well. But if you start with a prize and then you put it, then it will be received well. uh, okay, next, for a fool, we'll just see what it is. The foolish person is saying, wow, a crisis, this is exciting. I just saw a video about a revolutionary new software that could solve everything, or we could all work weekends. A foolish person is someone who knows nothing. They will think, they'll think it is like this because they don't know anything, any specifics. They don't know any specifics. Hence, they will think everything works. So they'll speak in generic terms. So when someone is speaking in generic terms, like everyone does this, or such a group will do this, like that, then you can know ki there is some sort of foolishness in that. So such people, we will indulge in their whims. We will acknowledge their energy, saying, "Great enthusiasm. Can you channel that into researching three low-cost software alternatives for us?" So because they are believing into something, and again same thing, it's about directing, making them responsible for what they have said. Okay, for the wise, we will speak the truth, we will show the data, and they will be able to process it. And for the greedy, we will withhold. So we will link what they want to the solution. So they have a greed for something. For the greedy, what we will do is, instead of fueling that greed, we will link it to the solution. If you provide the solution, you will be able to fulfill your greed. That way we can approach them. Okay, a communication analysis. Yeah, Amritaji, if you have any doubt or anything, or any confusion, or anything you want to say, or is it clear? If it is clear, you can give a thumbs up, Amritaji, or else you can type in. Okay, fine, great. This is a analysis for your own self. When dealing with a difficult person, my first instinct is to, yeah. So
Second
how do
one,
you, second one,
adopt.
adapt? Yeah, correct, great. When I need to convince someone, I rely most on.
First one.
First one, presenting the logical truth. Okay. However, the logical truth works for the wise. Remaining people, it mostly the emotionally, and you can drive it emotionally, and then bring the logical thing if they are at the position to understand. Next, I'm more comfortable. Yeah, among these
That's
being
the one.
direct. First one. Okay. Okay, it suggests that you have a flexible communication style, which is the foundation of the versus wisdom. Yeah. The verse is talking about speak to people as they are instead of speaking to them as you are, because ultimately the goal is to get things done. You have a strong inclination towards truth, which is excellent for dealing with wise people. But yeah, that needs to be balanced with the tact for other personality types. Okay, you can use this for your for listing down what are your strengths and what is the area that needs to be developed. Okay, next, yeah, next we have. Okay, I think some issue here. Okay, I'll keep the translation. Hmm. सद्भावेन हि तुष्यन्ति देवाः सत्पुरुषा द्विजाः इतराः खाद्यपानेन मानदानेन पंडिताः. Okay, again about pleasing different kinds of people. Gods, the devatas, are pleased by sadbhava, of good conduct, or having a good bhavas in the heart. Positive, not positive as such. Sadbhava means bhava that aligns with sat, which is truth. It's all in alignment with truth again. The Brahmins also by truth. We can speak to people, Brahmins. So we can. Brahmin is someone who is indulged or who is someone involved in reading and preserving the Vedas, and someone who tries to understand them and live by it, full of sacrifice. They are also like wise people, and as we have seen, wise people can be impressed by truth. Other people, generic people, can be impressed or brought under influence by food and drink or hospitality. Hence, it's important to uh, feed them. If someone wants to impress people or get a good name among the people, best thing is to do a annadana. And the wise people also expect respect because there is wisdom. It is not the person themselves, it is the uh, goddess, we can say, Devi seated in them, and expecting that respect, we can say. However, Devi herself do not expect anything. It's something that people expect because they have attained certain level of knowledge. Wise people expect respect, and they expect uh, uh, to be spoken like they expect other people to speak truth also, because they can understand if someone is lying. Okay, gods can be brought under influence by good conduct, Brahmins by truth, other people, generic people, food and drink. So hospitality is something that can be tried with everyone. If you meet some new person, or if you meet if you're organizing an event or something, whether you have knowledge or all the content you're giving it or not, you can always arrange for food and good drinks. That's a good way to impress or satisfy people. And wise people, they of course they require they demand respect. You're hosting an important dinner. Your guests include your devout elderly aunt, your neighbors, and your highly respected former professor. How do you please each guest according to the verse's wisdom? Yeah, so how do you treat different people? You can try answering this.
Serve everyone the same expense.
Serve everyone with same expensive meal and hope they are all impressed. That might hurt the people. Mainly the professor might get hurt because uh, yeah, that meal expense and all is fine. However, it can be the conduct that can be modified. For the professor, it can be respect. You can treat them with respect. For the neighbors, they are good with food alone. They don't really expect much. And with the aunt, you can show good conduct, like being humble and all. It's about approach only. Yeah, expensive meal expense will remain same. It's about how you treat them. Okay, then yeah, it's about social harmony. How you position yourself in a such a way that everyone, almost everyone, treats you like a friend, or everyone wishes good for you. You can use this for your own analysis. You can see which person, you can name some person, and you can see what that person requires. Is it a wise person? Then they will require respect. If it is a devout, then they require good conduct. If it is a learned person, they require truth. Others, general people, they require hospitality. So you can use this to make your own strategy, and then you can see and apply it and see how you can apply it. It is a very practical thing. You can see how people start behaving differently, or how they change when you start applying these principles. If you meet someone, a wise person, a professor or someone, you can treat them with great respect. Or if you're meeting people, friends generally, you can just call them, okay, let's have chai, or let's go for some samosa, or let's eat this. You can just invite them for food, something that's tasty, that satisfies their tongue. This way you can. And even the devatas, like I said, devatas are impressed when someone holds sadbhava, a bhava that is aligned with truth. Okay, next we have उत्तमं प्रणिपातेन शठं भेदेन योजयेत् नीचं स्वल्पप्रदानेन समं तुल्यपराक्रमै. Again, treating how to deal with different people. Uh, a superior should be won by respect, a rogue by creating division, which is bheda, which is like keeping them at distance and setting the boundaries. Inferior, if someone is in a lower position, like an employee or someone who works under you or for you, they can be impressed by giving gifts. A small gift is also fine. And then unequal, a person with equal intelligence or equal strength or equal wealth, equals can be impressed by matching their valor. So this is how we can win different types of people. Superior, showing respect. Rogue, division. Bheda is to keep them at a distance or create a boundary, clear boundary that you cannot cross this. Then inferior, by giving gifts. Inferior, there's again similar to what we have done previously. Generic people, they're not inferior as such. People whom you don't know maybe. So with them we are doing food and drinks, hospitality we are doing. And with people who are in someone who works under us, they can be impressed by giving gifts. They'll do more if you offer gifts. That's the strategy in corporate also, when they have these vantage points and giving them vouchers or gifts and awards. All this is for that only. It's something that is already there. Equals by matching their strength. Okay, your respected boss, a superior, rejects your project proposal. So how would you respond? There are some phrases and qualities that you can work on. If you want to answer, you can try this. Any of them or all of them. Yeah, how would you respond, Amritaji? Or for anyone of.
Explain, explain again about the proposal.
Okay, explain again. Can you use any specific word? Like, how would you open the conversation?
Mm. Request.
Okay, in a requesting manner. Okay, so how you can do is you can start by acknowledging their decision and then you can request for their perspective. So there is something called completed staff work. That's what usually the people, the superiors expect. So what they expect is they when something goes to them, they should be in a position where they either have to say yes or no, and there should not be anything more than that. There should not be a conversation where they have to explain things. It should be either a yes or no. So that's the level of perfection they expect. Yeah, okay. It's about respecting and being humble and then having that eagerness to learn. If it is a deceitful colleague is trying to turn another team member against you. In such cases, you can go with let's you and I work on this directly to avoid any miscommunication. So this is about creating separate or uh, that person is a rogue. So we are creating bheda, difference, or dividing or keeping that person uh, out of the out of the conversation. Yeah. So here you should use strategic thinking, discretion, and ability to form alliances. Then, if it is a inferior, a junior employee, and who seems unmotivated or disengaged, for such a people, you can appreciate them and give them gifts. Like I said, giving small gift also is a great gesture. They'll feel very happy about it and they'll feel motivated about it. Here, the qualities to develop are generosity. Sometimes we might think, okay, that is that person's responsibility. Why should I even gift them? They are anyway getting the salary. You should not see it that way. This is where you should develop the quality of generosity. Generosity is also a quality of a great leader. Like I said previously, a king should be generous. If that king is not generous, that place will be left by people who are wise. They won't stay only. So, generosity, encouragement, and leadership are the qualities to develop in such cases. And with a competitor, you give an equal response. For example, you see their move and you will say ki, we are doing our own we are giving our own response, our own move. That way you impress them. It's not like they will feel bad about it. They expect a counter action from you, and that way they want to grow together. So with an equal, there should be competition. So to express competition, one needs courage, confidence, and competitiveness that should be there between the equals, resolve to implement things. So these verses, they are about dealing with different kinds of people. Okay, next we have यस्य यस्य हि यो भावस्तस्य तस्य हि तं वदन अनुप्रविश्य मेधावी क्षिप्रमात्मवशं नयेत्. Okay, so again, Sutaji is repeating and telling the same thing in different ways for different people. We have seen how to deal with generic people, wise people, friends, an inferior, a superior, a wicked person, and a competitor. So it's all about being wise. Whatever a person's nature, bhava may be, a wise person speaks to them in that very manner. So it's a skill of teaching also. But when we are teaching or when we are communicating something to outer world, we are not doing it for our own sake only. We are doing it for their understanding. Yeah, it is for our own sake, and but for to get benefit for ourselves, the other person should be able to understand and be able to be moved by it, to take some kind of action, to get to have that win-win situation all the time. A wise person speaks to different people in different ways. This is not being deceitful or being uh, not honest or something. This is being wise. Having thus entered in their mind by mirroring their own the other person, they will enter their own mind and they quickly bring them under their own influence. It's like this: if you're talking to a person who, this is also a reason why one should always be curious about various topics and be at least have some knowledge about various topics. That way, they will be able to hold a conversation with different kinds of people. For example, if you want to have a conversation with a Gen Z, people who are like modern or someone who are uh, into anime or different kinds of learnings and all, you should have some level of understanding what's happening in the world, what are the different types of people. There are people who love watching movies, there are people who love reading books, or people who go to temples and do puja and all, or people who don't do all that, people who might be involved in their own works. Different kinds of people, different walls they will have. And to be able to hold a conversation, you should have some surface level knowledge to open the conversation. And then you should have the curiosity. If you have the curiosity, that's great. Even if you don't have the curiosity, you can make the other person speak about themselves by asking questions. That way you will be able to hold the conversation, and while holding the conversation you can present your own views, and in between somewhere you can insert your own thoughts and get things done for yourself. So that is also one reason why one should read different kinds of literature and engage in different kinds of things, music, dance, or studying, or also into spirituality, various things. That being a jack of all trades and being master of none, that works actually, especially in the case of business and in administration. Okay, so how we go about it? For example, if it's anxious planner, then you can go by this, because they want to be understood for their concern. These are people who will see problems in every situation. They don't see solutions, they'll see problems. Enthusiastic creative. These are people, who don't really see the problems. They'll see their own vision and they try to find a way to execute that. So you can appreciate that if it is an enthusiastic creative. And there is skeptical analyst who are more into logic and data and analysis. Someone who can see details. Usually people miss the details, but these people can see the details. For them, you can go with this. So that way, you say there is only one problem, but different people are seeing it in different ways, and you can talk to them in different ways and get what they are able to do and get it done by themselves. From entry to influence, after matching someone's mindset, a wise person gently guides them. You need to convince an anxious team member to accept a new challenging project. Okay, how will you go about it? Yeah, you can try this, Amrutaji, if you want.
Second one.
Second one, how I know this project seems daunting. Yes, it's always mostly about acknowledging. People want an acknowledgement for what they are feeling. Whether you understand or not, it's a different thing. Whatever they are saying, first thing is to acknowledge and then present your thing. Okay, then you have to gently influence them. Now that you have shown you understand, what's the next step? So how will you go about it?
Second one.
Okay, no, it will be this.
Okay.
Let's break it down together. Now you are involving. You said, okay, I understand what you are thinking. I acknowledge you. Let's work together. That way you are value. It's about valuing the person and then making them also part. If they are part of it, they'll take an active role in it. Okay, acknowledge and then involve and then work together. Or you can even delegate also. You don't always need to work together, but acknowledging is an important thing.
Where is the
Okay.
link to do these things?
Once the sorry, once the session is done, I'll share these links. Even for
Okay.
the previous sessions also, there is something like this. You can go through them. I'll share. Okay, then you
Are
can.
you able to send in WhatsApp?
Yeah, I'll send in WhatsApp. Yes,
Okay.
but this works well on a laptop or something. On
Okay.
phone, it won't be visible properly. It still works. I'll work it out for phone also, but right now it's not uh, made for phone.
Okay, I do in system.
Okay. So you can use this for your own plan, like how you want to go about people. You can add names. It's all like if you're into a business or if you're into something where there is a real benefit, real goal that you want to achieve, and you want to deal with so and so person or a group, you can categorize them whether they are anxious, cautious, or creative, proud, and then based on the verse, you can enter your own strategy, how you will approach them, and what is it that you want to achieve from the conversation or communication. You can do that listing down and then add it to your own plan, and then and then you can implement that and see if it is even working. Because when we work with them at ground, they might we might face new challenges that will always be there. However, these things mostly work. Next we have nadinancha nakhinancha shrunginam shastrapaninam विश्वासो नैव गन्तव्यः Strishu Rajakuleshu cha. Okay. Okay, it's about placing trust. Again, it is since it is being taught to a king, it is a little male centric. They're talking, they're saying not to place trust in women. That is because kings can be deceived by women. Usually, women are also used to deceive kings. In that sense, it is being said. Another thing is why they said ki don't place trust in women is because women are tend to be emotional. That is one thing, one way the people see women as, and also women are uh, kind of weak. They can be, even though it is said ki women can't be controlled by anything, but they won't be able to fight enemy, get into a fist fight. There is a chance that they might be captured and all. So in that sense also it is said ki not to put trust in women. So one should never place trust in rivers because rivers, the the level of the river, water level of the river, it rises very quickly. We can't even notice. I think you also might have seen some accidents where people are just crossing a river. It looks very normal initially, but all of a sudden the water level rises and um, people just died because of that. So such things happen with rivers. Rivers are something unpredictable. Animals with claws, wild animals we are talking about, they can be dangerous. They can, because they are wild animals, all of a sudden they might be looking very friendly initially, but all of a sudden they might turn wild, and we don't know what fear comes into their own mind, and all of a sudden they might attack. So, for that reason, wild animals with claws should not be trusted. In animals with horns, also, again, same thing. Animals, they act impulsively, they don't think and act, they just act like a reaction. If they get into some fear or some kind of sound or something that happens, we don't know how they perceive the world, and all of a sudden they might attack. And in those holding weapons, so weapons are usually like held because they want to attack, right? Or maybe they want to defend themselves, but specifically when there is a weapon, it's like a poisonous snake. That's how it should be seen. And there is always a chance. Wherever there is a chance for an attack, it's about that. Wherever there is a chance for an attack, you don't take uh, chances there. Like if there is an opportunity for the opponent to attack you, to harm you, they might do it. Why to place your trust in in something, in probability? It's like, let be sure of what will happen to you. Don't put your trust in things that might act impulsively and might cause harm to you. In women, again, someone who are seen as someone who will act impulsively or emotionally, and also because it is for the kings, they might be used to deceive a king and kill them or something like that. So it is said to not put their trust in women. And in royal families, because again same thing, it's about equality. And royal families, anyone who is superior to you, they don't see you as equal. They don't really consider your existence to be highest or something to be great, to be something that should be protected. So royal families, they look for their own safety, and they don't really care much about people's, I mean, they care about people's safety, but not at the expense of their own. And also, it is said that for a king, there won't be nobody is a friend to a king. This is also a niti because uh, everyone wants the king's position. Everyone wants to uh, take that place. In such a situation, there can't be anyone who is friend. Even a friend would be someone who wants to take that position immediately after king is gone. So one should not put trust in royal families. So these are the six untrustworthy forces. Rivers being powerful, unpredictable natural forces. Clawed animals, again, they have natural weapons and their behavior is not governed by human logic or loyalty. They will act impulsively. Horned animals, same thing, they have the possibility of attacking and they don't act with human logic and loyalty, they act impulsively. Armed people, people with means to cause immediate. If there is a weapon, and it's not just about what they might do and what the other person might do, it's about you also. In the presence of armed people, if you have said something wrong or if you have done something that might hurt them, they might attack you. Again, same thing with women. Men can act foolishly and do things in ways that don't really fall into human logic. So there, the emotion and all takes up, and logical mind gets suppressed. So hence that like women, that people should have caution with women. And then royal families, they're all royal families or people in power are just puppets of power and politics. They don't really have their own self that acts that acts with complete independence. They are all bounded by the politics and the power. They'll do anything for the sake of power, because it is as long as they hold their position, they will have life, or else it's like them being dead person only. Okay. A powerful, so when we talked about women, we can also say this for men also. It's about people placing trust in people with whom there is a chance for you to have a emotional relationship where your own logic gets suppressed and you start acting foolishly. If such a situation is there, and when you are around such people, you generally do not place trust in them because you're not in your own senses. Okay, if we look at an example, a powerful corporation with a history of ruthless takeovers offers a partnership. This situation is a modern parallel to which warning from the verse. Yeah, which of which example matches with this? Amritaji?
River?
So there is a ruthless corporation, and they are offering a partnership. So what does this ruthless, powerful corporation represent among these three?
River?
A river. Okay, it will be royal family because it's a powerful, ruthless
Okay.
corporation. Corporation is like a royal family because it is a family because it's human. River is more of a natural force and it is unpredictable. Okay, for your own analysis, you can try this. When dealing with a powerful unpredictable situation, my approach is
Cautious and watchful.
cautious and watchful. In relationships where emotions can change quickly. Yeah, this is what we mean when we say not to place trust in women. It will equally apply to men also. It's about being in situations, relationships where emotions can
Completely open and trusting.
completely open and trusting. Okay. When interacting with powerful institutions, these are like royal families or
Okay.
people, I am. So how do you approach them?
Mindful of the self interest.
Okay, great. Okay, so you've got a naturally prudent and cautious approach, and it aligns well with the verses wisdom of being aware and watchful in unpredictable situations. To be cautious of royal families is to be cautious, is to be like cautious of a poisonous snake. It's like that. So you can list down areas for healthy trust and areas for prudent caution where you in your own life you can see uh, what represents. You can make a list also which of these aspects represent a river or a clawed animal. This is very direct. Is there any armed people around you? Is there any places, people who with whom your emotions can change quickly? And is there any people who are like royal families? And then based on that you can approach them if you're having any business with them. Okay, then we have अर्थनाशं मनस्तापं गृहे दुश्चरितानि च वञ्चनं मतिमान्न प्रकाशयेत्. Okay, this is about what should not be revealed to people. So there can be this urge to share our own stories with others, but there are certain things which should not be shared to generally to people outside your own family. Even within family also it's better not to share. Certain things are better to keep for your own self. If you wish to communicate, you can communicate it to a devata or a god or your own ishta devata. That way you can you know kind of get rid of that burden of holding that loss or something. So what things should not be communicated? One is loss of wealth, mental anguish, misconduct in the home, or the troubles that are happening inside your home, being deceived. If you ever got fooled by someone, you should not share it with others. That will bring your value down, and people will try to deceive you. And being insulted, if you went through any insult, that also should not be shared. A wise person should not reveal these. Loss of wealth, times when you lost wealth or went into a situation of bankruptcy. Mental anguish, if you have any depression kind of problems, maybe you can talk to your therapist where the information is protected. However, you should not speak it to anyone, not even to a close friend. Misconduct in the home, all these things, these are all something uh, that will say ki okay, I've got a wound, and you're exposing that wound to people, and people will only poke it, they don't really heal it. So it is only you who can heal your wounds. By exposing, you only make it vulnerable. So loss of wealth, it invites pity or scorn, and can make you appear weak and vulnerable. Yeah, vulnerability again, like I said, by exposing your wounds, you are only making them vulnerable to more damage. Mental anguish, sharing deep personal sorrow with everyone, can attract insincere sympathy or give others emotional, that will give emotional power over you. Family's problems will bring dishonor to all members and makes the home feel unsafe and judged. Being deceived, announcing that you have been deceived can damage your own reputation and making seem you naive or an easy target for others. So if you show that you are being deceived, others also will try to do that. Publicizing an insult gives power to the offender and shows that their words have deeply affected you, which can invite more disrespect. For these reasons, these things should not be exposed. However, you can also talk to a very trustworthy and a close person, maybe someone like your life partner, or someone like a therapist, or someone like a guru, or guru in the sense someone who uh, is devoid of any kind of uh, what we say, like an ascetic kind of thing, or you can talk to devatas, or someone whom you think do not have any reason to hurt you, or someone who may not be part of your life, where they don't have to judge you based on that. So these things should be kept secret always. After losing money in the stock market, Arjun tells all his colleagues about his losses. This is an unwise reveal. Maria is deeply hurt by a family argument, but maintain a calm demeanor in public. This is a wise conceal. After being cheated by a business partner, David posts a long rant about it on social media. Yeah, because social media gives us this freedom to express ourselves, we often tend to dump our emotions on social media, which nobody really listens or nobody really cares. People only feel good about it by listening, and they'll feel like, okay, my life is better. That kind of thing will be there. There can be some sort of sympathy, unless there is uh, a movement, or not movement as such. Unless it solves your problem, you don't need to reveal it. For example, if you reveal it to a therapist, it might solve your problem. Or if you complain it about at a police station, if you had some loss or something, it might solve your problem. But ranting about it or talking about it on social media, or talking to some some person who you think as friend, will not solve it. And it might feel like you're sharing wisdom by speaking it about it in indirect ways. It's not even like you are sharing wisdom, it's only you're making yourself appear to be a person who is lost. Okay, this is also an unwise review. You can make your own planner. You can see what is it my trusted circle to whom I can share, and you can see what is the outer circle to whom I cannot share, I should never share, and you can have your own personal reflection. I would suggest it's always best to talk to a devata, because devatas are the ones who give the karma phalas ultimately, irrespective of whether laws work or not. They will be always functional, and karma is something that is always functional. And by presenting or offering it to a devata, you only initiate that karma to come to its fruit sooner. Okay, then we have दीन दुर्जन संसर्ग मत्यंत विरहादरः स्नेहोन्त्य स्नेहोन्त्य गेह वासच्च नारी सच्चील नाशनम. Okay, again, like I said, it's teaching being given to a king and it is male centric. So it's about what happens, how a woman's character gets destroyed. Association with wicked. Again, like I said, wicked are people whose conduct is negative irrespective of context. There are people who contextually can become negative, but wicked people are people who are always negative. Separation from one's own people. When women are separated from their own people, they become vulnerable to uh, outer world, and that is also when they can lose their character. And affection for living in another's house. If a woman is willing to live in another's house, that means she is not finding love at home. That can also lead to a loss of her own character, Sheila in this case. These things apply equally to men. Association with wicked can bring their character down. Separation from one's own people again makes them vulnerable to outside people who feed on vulnerabilities. For example, if you share that, okay, I've lost my trust in such a trust in God. Some other person might come and invite you into their God. That's how conversions happen. Separation, that means you have been separated from your own family and your own belief system. That way you become vulnerable. Uh, so it's like that. And affection for living in another's house. This can happen when there is no love being found in their own home, and this is something that should be solved within house. And maybe it's not. Sometimes it might not be so easy to solve it. However, by being aware of these things, one can protect themselves by being aware of their own vulnerability. When things are happening like this, when when one is in the company of wicked, or when is separated from their own people, or when one is having this intention or wish for living in another's house, not just another's house, being in another's company because you are separated from your own people, there should be this awareness ki I am vulnerable now, I can be fooled. So by doing this one gets corrupted. Huh. A young woman moves to a new city for a job. Feeling lonely, she starts spending all her time with a new group of friends who are cynical and engage in harmful gossip. She also begins to resent her own simple apartment, preferring to always be at her wealthy friend's luxurious home. Yeah, so the wish to be at another's home, it also comes from the from this, like when you see a person living a great life or having a luxurious home or having more wealth than you might wish for that. You might wish to be around them. That attracts, being Shakti, wealth attracts. So, according to the verse, what is the primary danger in this situation? Yeah, Amritaji.
A or
A,
B?
yeah, it will be B because she herself don't have money. That's why she is attracted to a wealthy house. So it will
Okay,
be
B.
combination of negative company, separation from family. Already being in a new city, there is separation from family, and envy. can erode her good character. Okay, you can use this chart. So all this data you enter here, it is only for your own self. We don't check it. We don't get the information. You can download and save it in your own device as a text file. So you can use it to have honest analysis. You can write about your family or people who support you, uh, and then risk. Where is the risk? And then you can write your own personal reflection. Is there any practical steps that you want to take to strengthen your anchors and minimize your risks? Yeah.
Excuse me.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
have another class at 8 p.m.
Okay, then we will end it here. Tomorrow
Okay.
we will continue. Uh, okay, I'll tell about the timing. Tomorrow, most probably, will start from 4 only. That works for you?
Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.